last time that I checked, see nothing ain't changed yet. Except that I got a big bag and a big flag. Don't me nobody tell me don't.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you all doing? All right. How is your weekend going? How was your Saturday? Hope you're having fun because, yes, I am so excited right here at JC Radio and What's Poppin with Evan Kevin. And I am here with my special guest here. And you're going to learn and know a lot of things about her. But meanwhile, how you doing? What's popping with you? Yeah, let's enjoy. Oh,
Nonsense, my nigga. This shit is so cold, my nigga. When nobody come try cry me a river. I'ma pull through all the strings on my guitar. So cold outside, my brother. I don't want pull no trigger. I just want it, cause I'm going play. I don't want no wahala. It's so cold outside, my brother. Me, I know the hate on the brother. Me, I just want it, cause I'm going places. I don't want no wahala. Oh, it's so cold outside. Me, I know there's nothing to worry me. I know there's nothing to bother me. Me no owe no one apology. Me no say she don't know they bother nobody. Me, I know they let nothing to bother me. I know they let nothing to bother me. Me no owe no one apology. Do you get me? Me nobody tell me nonsense, my nigga. She's in so cold, my nigga. Me nobody come try cry me a river. I'ma pull through like the strings on my guitar. Nonsense, my nigga. The shoes is so cold, my nigga. Me nobody come try cry me a river. I'ma pull through like the strings on my guitar. So cold outside, my brother. I don't want pull no
Exclusive from PrivateMP3.com.
I don't want no wahala. It's so cold outside.
is it cold outside for you too? All right. Yeah, it is very cold still, but it's getting better. The sun is out. Yes. How is your side? Where are you watching us from? How you all doing? Yeah, the weather is getting better, and I hope it's gonna stay this way. Hopefully, spring is just around the corner. Yes, we're about to start. As I said, good afternoon, everybody. Yes, my name is Evan Kivinen, and my producer is in the house, the one and only DJ Joe. Yeah. So we are gonna have a wonderful time. And how you doing over there? Yes. So I have this quote for today. It's called Purpose. By choosing this card, you are promoting to examine how your current goals serve you. Check that reasons of your mind is attuned with the calling of your heart. Allow your values to act as your compass and guide your direction. Then become clear about whether your thoughts, words, and actions are in alignment with your life's plan and take positive action to bring about congruence. Oh, that's a big one. How are you doing with your life? What is your sense of purpose in life? Is it hosting or anything, modeling, fashion, and everything? Yeah, what is your purpose? We know we have a special guest here that has a purpose right here in Finland, and we are going to hear out. For those who have seen the flyer, you all know, but we're going to hear her out. But meanwhile, we have a show for you to do today, and I'll just give you a little bit of what is going to happen tomorrow. We have African Fashion Week, Helsinki. Oh, yeah, the biggest ever of African fashion in Helsinki. Oh, yeah, in Finland. And I am really opportune to say that I was part of the organizers for the first time when it's been done. And I was also a judge then. And tomorrow is the show. I will be the judge as well. So hope all the designers are ready. And I know definitely they all have their own calling. And this is their calling too. And they are ready for the show. Beautiful designs, a lot to check about. Okay. All right. So let's go into it. How you doing? Hello, our special guests. Yes. It's so nice to see you, Let me just say, this person right here, I would not just call her a friend, she's also a sister to me because I've known her a long time, which we are going to talk about. So, can you just talk about you as a person and what you're doing right now and why you're here in Jaisa Radio right now?
Thank you, Edwin. I'm Aliana Thomas, and I am a candidate in the parliamentary elections with the Swedish-speaking People's Party. Some of you might know it as RKP or SFP.
Mm.
Um, but I'm also a foreigner in Finland, originally from New York. I might also consider myself as an anxious millennial.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm putting the dots together. So,
Oh
yes.
yeah.
Yes. Mm. And you're originally from, you say you're from New York, you're American, and you're also partially from
I'm from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm actually from a Jewish Russian speaking neighborhood in
Mm.
Brooklyn.
Because what I'm saying is that I think some people will be so curious to know that, like, oh, your skin is quite different. I mean, you're black. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I want to take that part that you are from actually. And
Yeah, I just what I would say about that is it is a big part of who I am,
yeah, of course,
especially
I do know.
yes,
Yeah.
especially since I am from the States, but my
Yeah.
family is not
Yeah.
from the States. So
Mm.
being part of the Caribbean diaspora is also
Mm.
a big part
Yeah.
of
Big
my
part of, yeah,
yeah.
of who you are. Yeah. I must say that maybe because she's my sister, so I can always drill her.
Yes. Yes.
So who is Aliana? Who is Aliana Thomas? Because the Aliana I know, okay, which I'm not gonna say all. I'm not gonna yeah. But I want you to say, I mean, let our viewers know who Aliana is.
I would say uh, that I'm someone who is very I think maybe it's also a criticism, but also a compliment that I've gotten that my life has been very political.
Mm.
I'm quite a skeptic.
Mm.
I'm quite a curious person. Storytelling is a big part of who I am. But
Mm.
when things have gotten hard for me,
Yeah.
I've always thought, well, this is going to be an excellent story. Or
Mm.
how can I turn this into a story? Or how can I help someone else turn
Yeah.
this into
The
a story?
story. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm definitely someone who cares a lot about culture
Yeah.
and language, and it's quite easy for me to also think that I don't know everything. So I'm a lifelong learner.
Mm.
I would say. Yeah.
But you're actually a language teacher.
No, I'm in English. You would be a multilingual instructor.
Okay.
In Finnish, monikielinen
Monikielinen, okay.
ohjaaja.
Okay.
In Swedish, flerspråkig handledare.
Oh, see, she's speaking and speaking and speaking because she speaks Swedish, okay?
Yes.
So we're going to get into that. How long have you been living in Finland?
I've been here 13 years. It'll be 13 years in August.
In August, yeah. Because I remember the first time I met you, that was 2010.
Yes.
Yes.
I
You
remember
were
I remember exactly how we met.
you were working in the Expo Museum, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I was working at the Helena Rautavaara Museum, and you had come in with your
My classmates, we came for excursions, and it was just so funny that day. I don't know how I just had that protective mood over you that those guys that they're my friends. You get what I'm saying? Not that they don't have any good intentions or whatever, but kind of like I felt like, this is too much on this, beautiful girl, And I just had this protective mood over you, like, come on, leave her alone, stop doing that, something. I think we now instantly have that connection. We started talking, and since then we're here today. And I got the opportunity to meet your mom as well, and you with my own family as well. And you've been around us, as I said, that actually says, I'm your sister as well, you
Yes.
know. Yeah.
My mom still asks about you every every time we speak. Like, how is Ebun? I sent Ebun a message.
And I remember I went to visit your mom when I went to New York as well.
Yes.
Yeah, she's such a wonderful woman. Yeah. And yes, what are your hobbies?
Uh, I spend a lot of time going to art festivals
Yes, yes.
or in secondhand bookstores. So my thing is books and reading art,
Mm, mm,
performance art. So
mm.
I think that's where people will normally find me. Library, secondhand shop.
Second, yeah, yeah. Are you more like an introvert or extrovert?
I'm probably an introvert.
Because yeah, let me say, but if you really want to have a good time, you know how to have a good time.
I think I'm an excellent time when I feel like it.
Yes, yes. Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah. And what is your educational background like?
So I have my bachelor's degree I have a dual bachelor's degree from the City University of New York
Yeah.
in anthropology and linguistics. And then my master's degree is in sociology from the University of Helsinki,
Helsinki. Okay.
with a specialization in ethnic diversity and integration, and a further specialization in healthcare.
Okay. Yeah.
issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been able to like walk in that line of health service with your
No,
degree?
no, unfortunately. In the 13 years I have been in Finland, it has been very difficult for me to find work in my field, which is why for most of my career here, I've actually been working in the private sector in
Yeah.
sales and business with software. And it's really only recently, after I learned Swedish, that I have been able to at least work with integration issues, but not with healthcare issues.
I must tell you, wonderful viewers, that I think you're going to learn more about how Aliana was able to integrate into society, which a lot of people don't even know they can also go with that, and yeah, we're going to go on with that. And thank you all very much for joining me live, as I said. And this is What's Poppin with Aliana Thomas. And she's a candidate. She's a candidate for Parliamentary House. As you know. And what's your number?
107.
107. What is your party all about? Like, what is, because to me, I didn't really understand the name of your party
Yeah.
because it's not the popular ones, as they always say, like SDP, like Qu'est-ce que ça, like, So explain to us what your party is all about, and maybe if you know the name behind it, or who are the people who are really there, and what are their beliefs, in your party.
So I think a lot of the misunderstanding around the party is the name.
The name, yes, yes, the SFPRKP.
Yes, the Swedish
Okay.
People's Party, which can be misleading. It's the Swedish-speaking People's
Yeah.
Party, so a minority group
Yeah.
in Finland.
Mm.
But what that means for their politics is that they believe in a bilingual Finland.
Finland, okay,
Yes.
okay.
So that's one of their main points. I would say that's a core political issue that unites a lot of people in the group, that we want Finland to be bilingual. But then the other thing that unites most of us in the party, and why I also chose this party, was because it's a party for minorities that understands minority politics. So whether that means you're Swedish speaking or a foreigner or Sami or Roma, they are dedicated to addressing minority issues, as we saw recently with the Sami
Sami,
parliamentary law. So it was very important to me to be with a party that stood with Sami.
Sami, yeah.
people.
Do you understand Sami language?
No.
Okay. No, I mean, I just wanted to know. I,
I wish.
I must just say because we've been talking about, languages and bilingual. When you're talking about bilingual, what you mean? Is it Finnish and Swedish language,
Yes.
or Finnish and English, or
It's,
how?
so it's Swedish and Finnish.
Mm.
But what that has meant for me is I'm with a party that also understands that understands language politics. That
Mm.
language is very much tied to identity
Yeah.
and culture, and
Yes.
so it's been very easy to be able to move between different languages. The few words I know in Finnish,
Yeah. Yeah.
Swedish, and English,
Yes.
understanding that I also speak German, and
Mm-hmm.
sort of an appreciation for all languages. But part
Mm.
of yes, so part of that, so for me, part of that starts with acknowledging
Yes.
that
Mm.
it's good to have a bilingual
Bilingual. Yeah.
country.
Yeah. So some years, me being your friend, of course, I know when you went into this debate, if you remember, I feel like we should talk about that debate
We can,
because,
but it wasn't a debate.
what is it then?
So in 2018, there was a conference called Integration
Yeah, yeah,
2018,
yeah.
and there was a pitching competition.
Oh, but it's not like a debate.
Well, we were okay. That's more interesting.
I mean, if you're pitching, I mean, and for our viewers at home, please, if you have questions to ask our special guest, Aliana Thomas, please just send in your questions. We'll be ready to answer them. Yes, please go on.
So it was a pitching competition where organizations were given the opportunity to pitch innovative ideas around integration.
Yeah.
And I was the only one that wasn't an organization and didn't have a project. I
Yeah.
just went there as someone that thought, well, why hasn't anyone thought of this?
Mm, yeah.
So I had, I believe, like 3 minutes, and I just said, yeah, that there's this sort of open secret,
Mm,
it seems, that this is a bilingual country,
yeah.
um, and that it should be made more visible that there is this other option
Yeah.
for you to integrate.
To integrate, yeah.
Whether that's your integration plan or
Mm,
just for you to know that, well, okay, you're not just integrating into Finland. If you would
mm-hmm.
like to integrate into the Nordic
Region,
region,
yeah.
this is also one way to do it
Mm,
and to get there more
mm,
quickly. And by
mm,
integration, for me, that had meant that you get your independence
yeah.
a lot sooner.
Mm, mm.
Yeah.
And you were debating about how you can integrate with Swedish language, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So how did it go?
How did it go? Well, I won.
Yes. Of course I did. I remember you won, and it came with a great prize. And I think not everybody knows that you can also integrate with Swedish language. A lot of people just focus more on Finnish. Of course, we live in Finland, and that's Finnish language. And people don't know that they can have other options of, as you said, Swedish language. And I think that's something that has to be out there for a lot of people to know that you can also, integrate with that because we have basically two languages here that we speak, Swedish and Finnish. Yeah. So, and I think it will be a bonus. They're like, okay, you can understand Swedish language. I've had the opportunity to go to Sweden before, and which I heard the language, people speaking around me, and I was like, oh, I don't think it's that bad to really understand that language, very fast. And they told me that within 6 months you can actually know how to speak. How
Yeah.
true is that?
Well, that was my case. I think it depends on what languages you already speak.
Speak, okay.
Right? And
Yeah.
so I speak English and German.
Yeah, yeah.
And so for me, it only took 6 months to be able to take the test
Mm.
to get the citizenship. And so I
Mm.
think if you speak English or you speak some other Indo-European language, it could be easier for you, or take 6 months, or at least significantly less time than
Yeah, yeah,
than Finnish.
yeah.
Yeah, but I think it is important to understand that there is space for you to use your Swedish language.
Mm.
that it's not so that you would just learn it
Yeah.
and now you know whether you're what you're buying in the supermarket,
Yeah.
but also that you can study,
You can study. Yeah.
right?
Mm.
That I saw it also that way, that if
Mm.
you would like to continue studying or switch your studies or work in a different field
Feel.
or
Yeah.
have access to more hobbies,
Mm-hmm.
this is a much lower threshold way to
Mm.
get there.
Mm.
And that,
Mm.
by the way, this doesn't mean that you don't learn
Mm.
Finnish.
Mm.
If you would
Mm.
like to
Yeah. Of
learn Finnish
course.
afterwards,
Of course.
I bring it
Yes.
up because it was something that at that time kept coming up. That are you saying you
Mm.
don't care about Finnish?
Mm.
And
Mm.
I don't know where that came from.
Mm. Mm.
Um,
Well, does that mean that if they're telling you that you don't care about Finnish, would they see Swedish people and say, "Oh, because you live in Finland, you're speaking Swedish, you don't care about Finnish"?
that was the feedback that I have been getting for many years.
But that's not fair.
It's not fair,
Mm.
but what that kind of statement highlights, I think, is that it makes it suddenly about everyone else except the person that made the choice to learn Swedish,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
It sort of skips over the fact that, well, I do need to be able to do my taxes. I
Mm.
do need to be able to make friends and get hobbies
Mhm.
and continue my education.
Yeah.
And so I made a decision based on my strengths
Mhm.
and my needs.
Mm.
And it was not, or it is not, some reaction to Finnish people or Finnish culture.
Culture. Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think that that's something that needs to be kept in mind. That
Mm-hmm.
when you choose how you want to be included,
Mhm.
how you want to be integrated,
Mm.
it's
Should be
not,
respected. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mm. Mm. And do you usually have Swedish speakers around you?
Yes.
Okay. No, I just want to know how you know, like.
I'm laughing. I'm laughing because there's a term used in Svensk Finland called ankdamen,
Okay.
right? The duck pond.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so, yes, I would say I'm part of the duck
Yeah.
pond.
Yeah. Yeah.
One, because I went to study at the Swedish School of
Mhm.
Social Sciences
Mhm.
at the University of
Mhm.
Helsinki.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then, yeah, for some reason, I've just ended up with mostly Swedish speaking
Mm.
friends.
Mm.
I don't know, that has to do with the hobbies I've chosen. So I have opportunities to use my Swedish quite often. I'm not
Okay.
very good at taking all those
Okay.
opportunities.
Okay.
But,
Okay. Okay.
I can sort of picture some of my Swedish speaking friends shaking their head.
If they're listening to you right now. I know. Because I have a friend, she's Nigerian. Okay, Annabelle. She came from Sweden, because she was there. That's where she stays, then she moved to Finland, but she speaks Swedish. So I kind of sometimes wonder, how do you, you know, speak? I'm sure she's itching that like she has friends around that speaks Swedish language with her. So that's why I'm asking you that how do you, on a day to day, live your life, speaking Swedish language, and or do you live in an area where there are Swedish speakers around?
So I don't live in an area that's predominantly Swedish speaking,
Mm.
but I recently realized that I should try to speak to people in Swedish, that there are people that do speak Swedish, but it's not obvious.
Yeah.
So that's one thing, that there probably are more than I think there are in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Two, I use Swedish at work.
Yeah. Okay.
All
That's
day,
cool. Yeah.
every day.
Yes. Yes.
I probably don't speak Swedish enough with my friends
Mm.
because when we met each other, we started speaking
Mm.
English,
Mm.
and it's very hard for me to let go of
Mm. Mm.
my identity
Mm.
in English.
In English,
I
yeah.
would say I use my Swedish a lot for reading.
Yeah. Okay.
Reading and
That's
going
good.
to events and
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want to make one point
Yes.
again about the Swedish outside of Finland.
It's like there's a lot to talk about,
I think
this
so.
language thing, because, yeah.
Which was, as I said, one of my hobbies is art festivals,
Yes.
performing arts. And
Yes.
I was recently in northern Norway,
Yeah.
so near the Russian border, in a
Mm.
place called Kirkenes.
Mm. Mm.
And it was really wonderful because I was able to speak Swedish with everyone there, and then they would
Nice.
speak back to
Back
me in
to you.
Norwegian. So
Mm.
this sort of Scandinavisk that
Co-
we spoke to
Oh,
each other.
okay.
Yes,
Do you understand Norwegian language?
there are a lot of words that are similar to
Similar.
Swedish.
Oh, I
So
didn't know that.
yeah,
Yeah.
so this is what I mean about also seeing yourself as being part of a region rather than just part of Finland through language,
Mm.
because you can understand Norwegian. Of course, Sweden speaks Swedish.
Mm.
It's a little bit different Swedish.
Mm.
Um, there might be some Danes that understand
Mm.
you. I can't understand Danish. I can read Danish.
Yeah.
Um,
You've lived there before, right?
no, but I've spent a lot of time.
I think we have to talk about the countries you've lived in.
Let's do that.
Because this guy is American, okay, but she has lived in some places, all right? So let's start with that.
So the one country that I've spent a lot of time in aside from Finland is Germany.
Yeah, okay.
So
Yeah.
when I was doing my bachelor's degree, I went to Germany for one long summer and then for an exchange program, so for about 8 months. And then once I graduated, I was there for another 6 months.
6 months,
But
yeah.
basically, throughout my adulthood, Berlin has been the place I go for at least 6 months to figure out my life.
That's interesting. What do you like about that place? Because I went there, I don't really like it.
You don't like it?
I think at night, the smell.
Well, I'm from Brooklyn, so it's the same smell.
But you know what that smell is all about, huh?
I do.
Yeah.
But,
Is that's the disturbing part for me when I went to visit anyways. So
I love it.
yeah.
I love it from a historical perspective, from an art perspective. It's so easy to meet people. And so for me, Berlin is a place where I can relax.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah.
But aside from that, when I was doing my undergraduate studies, I've also lived briefly in the Netherlands and in Greece and in Czech Republic, and briefly I had some studies in China. But then once I graduated, I spent about 5 months living in Argentina.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And then I think I came back to New York for maybe a week before going to Norway, and then 6 months in Germany, and then I came to Finland.
Okay. I'm just trying to see the journey, So, but oh wow. Anyways, but yeah.
And then 6 months in Wales.
The Wales. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So why politics? Why politics? Because I was so shocked when you sent me a message last year that you were running. That you want to be you're a candidate for parliamentary house, because I don't know, for some reason I feel like I didn't see you to be that person that really want to be in the public eye mostly. But which I knew you were. You started with that debate that it came with a great prize that you had dinner with
3 ministers.
Yeah. And you started having interviews coming in from different station, which I was really proud of you. And I was reading the article and everything, and that made me like, okay, oh, somebody's coming out of the shell or something, that you have so much to give. You get what I'm saying? And I think people can misjudge that, like, you're so quiet and everything. Maybe in that aspect too, for me, I was like, oh my gosh, you're going into this. Why politics?
So if I'm honest,
Yes.
because I'd like to be an honest politician.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Don't be like them.
First of all, I wanted to get a political education. First and foremost, it was to get a political education. But I think it's very hard to be a change maker if you don't understand the processes you're
Mm.
trying to change.
Yes.
So that was my main point, is one, to get the education in what the processes were, to network with people, to sort of
Mm.
see who who is with me on these issues.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so as much as I would of course like to make it
Mm.
to
Mm.
Parliament,
Mm.
um, I think the issues that I care about matter whether there's a parliamentary election
Mm.
or not.
Mm.
And so through this process, I can gain the visibility needed to find people who also want to work with me
Mm.
on these same issues,
Mm.
election or no
Oh no.
election.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my main point, and of course also one of the ways to get over being shy
Yeah.
is to just do
I
it.
just didn't want to say that word, so it's good you said it yourself.
I am what I am.
Yes, of course, which is really good. As I said, that I'm really proud of you for doing that and putting yourself out there, because you've been talking about issues. What are the issues? Or let me say, what is your agenda? You know, why, you want to go into, why do you think these things should be known or to be seen, to be corrected or to be solved or anything? Why? What are your agendas?
Um, so my main agenda is that I want a safe Finland for all.
Mm,
And what I mean by that is I think that there are certain myths around Nordic exceptionalism that somehow Finland has managed to be this extremely safe country where
mm,
nothing bad could ever happen to you.
mm, mm,
Um, and I don't think this is true.
mm,
Um, and I think there are certain ideas when people imagine, well, safe for who?
mm.
And so that's part of this safe for all.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
maybe it's a safe place if you've grown up here your entire life and you have
Life.
your family around you
Mm-hmm.
and you can
Mm-hmm.
afford to live in a
Mm-hmm.
certain kind of area and
Mm-hmm.
you're able bodied,
Mm-hmm.
etc., etc.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I don't think we are all that
Mm.
person.
Mm.
And I think the systems that are in place that are meant to protect us
Mm.
don't always necessarily acknowledge that there are different people living in the society.
Mm. Mm.
So who's the ideal sort of client for the healthcare system? Who is the healthcare system built for?
Yes. Yes.
And
Mm.
so for me, my main 2 points are around mental health issues
Mm.
and
Mm.
domestic violence.
Mm. Mm.
So those are the two things that I'm tackling. I of course care about other things,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like domestic violence or intimate partner violence, especially in Finland,
Mm. Mm.
doesn't get talked about enough.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, it wasn't even part of any of the voting
Mm.
machines that came come
Mm.
out.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, because when we come around, I mean, seeing your flyer, just saying like, okay, safe for all, then I know a lot of people will be wondering, oh, we thought Finland is safe for everyone. What I can say that for me, I did not see it in the other way. Maybe I just see in the all general that Finland is safe. Maybe because of my family, my children, um, basically maybe I don't know with that. But when we are not thinking about the core thing going on inside, of course, we do have things to say. We do have things to talk about because I have my own experience too. I have my own experience in the health system. I have my own experience about racism. I have my own experience in discriminations. And, everybody has their own experiences. And I think we don't bring it out. But the first thing is Finland is safe. But it's so intriguing to know that your own core vision is to make sure it's safe in terms of the health system, the
Yes.
mental health, and domestic violence. Do you want to elaborate on that aspect of mental health and the violence as well?
So yeah, I will start with mental health.
Yes.
Um, I don't think you live in a safe country if when you encounter mental health issues,
Mm.
you one have to wait in a long queue
Mm.
to get a therapist, or to get a therapist who specializes in your issue,
Mm.
or to get a therapist who is competent in understanding that, for example, not everyone culturally can be told stop speaking to your mother.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Or a
Yeah.
therapist that, if I may give an example from my own experience,
Experiences. Yeah.
which is that at some point I had a therapy session with someone, and I had said that I wanted to go and continue my education. I wanted to become a speech therapist
Mm.
in Turku.
Mm.
And the therapist said to me, but what if you don't get in? Have you thought of becoming a nurse?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I know where this is going.
Yeah. And then, of course, being able to also find a therapist in your language.
Yeah.
So, one, if I think about long term mental health care, that's not safe if you're waiting for a long time for
Mm.
someone who
Mm.
is understanding, competent, and has the language skills and training to deal
Mm.
with your issues.
Mm.
Then, two, when I think of acute mental health issues, so like
Mm.
it's 2 a.m. on a Saturday,
Yeah.
and you're having thoughts of self harm.
Mm. Oh.
Who are you supposed to call?
Mm.
And then when you call them, is anything available to you in a language other than Swedish and Finnish?
Mm.
Because
That's true.
by the way, it'll probably be available 24/7, 7 days a week in Finnish.
Yeah.
It might stop on a Friday in Swedish,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but already on Friday at 8 p.m., it has stopped in Arabic and English and
Mm.
Russian and so
Mm.
on.
Mm.
I think that that's not a safe Finland if there isn't anyone there to help you. If your only option at that point is to go to the emergency hospital.
Yeah. Or wait till next Monday.
Yeah,
You know.
hopefully you haven't done anything to yourself
Mm.
by then. But yeah, so you go to the emergency hospital and you sit there for how many hours?
Mm. Mm.
Yeah. So that's what I mean
Okay.
around safety and mental health, but also from like a public point of view, that can you reach out to your neighbors?
Mm.
Can you reach out to people and say, I need help? Are there places where you can? Is
That's
there
true.
general support
That's true. Yeah.
that when overarching um, government systems fail you,
Mm.
is there something at a grassroots level, community?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I don't think Finland is a safe place from a community perspective when
Mm.
it comes to mental health.
Mm.
Now to domestic violence or intimate partner violence. Um, I would say I have a criticism of maybe four structures in Finland
Okay.
that endanger uh, women or people dealing with domestic violence. The first one is the police.
Mm.
That the police in Finland have a very reactive approach to policing. And what I mean by that is, people will often ask those who have come out of those kinds of situations, or who are in those situations, why
Yeah.
don't you leave?
Okay.
If we think about what it is to leave someone, like in practical terms, you need to get your stuff out and get out.
Mm.
It would help if you could do that safely, but if you call the police and your partner has not hit you,
Mm.
then the police are not coming. You can't call the police and say, I would like to leave my partner.
Yeah.
I need someone to be there so I can get my things and go.
Or is it like the police? They need an evidence first before they take an action or something? Or
But then I would ask, so what is evidence? Because also, how do the police define violence? Right? That if your partner, your cohabitation partner won't let you sleep,
mm. Mm.
if that's their violence against you, they won't let you sleep, and you call the police,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
what happens? They're not going to come.
Mm. Mm.
And if they did come, what would the proof be that this person doesn't let you sleep, or this person um, makes you hand all your money over to
Mm.
them, or they scream at you,
Mm.
right? So it's a very narrow definition of violence and what is evidence, but also um, you're not helping someone get out of that situation if
Mm.
first they have to be hit
Mm.
or something, they have to be attacked, because then I would ask, okay, so the person has been attacked, I hope their phone is near them, I hope they have the safety to call,
It's
I
very
hope.
hard. There's some situation whereby you wouldn't even have a phone just close
Exactly,
by, you
exactly,
know?
exactly. So that's the first thing with the police, is I would like to see a more proactive
Mm.
approach.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then two is migri.
Okay. What's Migri?
Right, so immigration. I could leave this for last, but I feel so strongly.
Yes, about this. Yes. Migri.
um, okay, so if you have a visa, if you were to go to Migri's website today, I would encourage everyone, go to Migri's website.
It's like Migri is just a different word entirely, but it's just a slang, right?
It's what do you,
I
it's
mean, it sounds I don't know what I can like more like a slang. So that's why I kept saying that what is Migri. Yes, you were saying,
yeah,
sorry.
that you go to their website, and let's say you click on spouse visa or family visa.
Mm, mm,
Now, there is a section of Migri's website that allows you to inform them if you've had a divorce, if one of you has died.
yeah.
But there's nothing there about what you should do if the person to whom your visa is tied
Mm,
is being violent towards you, right? So whether that's your partner,
mm,
your sister, a parent, the person you're living with, there is nothing there that says this is how we define violence here at
mm,
Migri.
yeah.
Here are resources for you to get out of that situation.
Mm,
Here is the form for you to fill out so you
mm,
can notify us that this is your situation.
mm,
And here's what will happen after we get that form.
yeah.
So basically, I think the lack of this process at Migri means that you end up trapping people in dangerous
Mm,
situations,
situations,
right?
yeah.
And you empower the abuser because the abuser knows
Mm,
you can't go to Migri because you're probably going to lose your visa
mm,
if you divorce them, if you
mm,
move out and
mm,
register somewhere else, you will lose your status.
yeah.
I think that's an incredibly unsafe country that
Mm,
doesn't understand the power dynamic of that
mm.
situation.
I think, what do you think that there are some organizations that actually protect women who have been violated? Do you think? Or,
Yes, there are organizations. There are, Monica Neisset.
yeah.
Um, there are, I think that's in Helsinki.
Yes, it's in Helsinki, yeah.
Yeah, in Espoo, I'm familiar with Omatila,
Mm,
but um, they have limited resources.
mm,
I
mm,
I would say, and yes, they can protect you, but or they can give you support, but it still doesn't address your immigration status
okay.
issue.
Mm.
Um,
I must say, someone wrote, Lorena said very nice, like giving thumbs up with
mhm.
the show. And also, someone is saying, please, what party are you aligned with? But I guess maybe you should repeat the
Sure.
party as well.
I'm
Yeah.
aligned with the Swedish speaking People's Party, otherwise known as RKP or
Yeah.
SFP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, please. Yeah, you can go on.
Yeah. I mean, I bring up these two structures just to say that, you know, Finland is actually the second most dangerous country in Europe for women in the home.
Mm,
Um, the Human Rights Council has criticized Finland multiple times about how they've handled violence against women
Mm.
and girls.
Mm.
Um, which is also again why I'm surprised it hasn't come up as part of the parliamentary elections. There's the Istanbul. I don't know how many people are familiar with the Istanbul Convention, which is if I may read here for a
Yeah, yeah,
moment what
yeah,
it is.
yeah. Yes.
But the aim of the Istanbul Convention is to prevent and eliminate violence against women and violence taking place in families, and to support services to protect them and hold perpetrators to account. And in Finland, the Ministry of Social Affairs and Health has a committee for combating violence against women
Mm.
and for has an action plan for enforcing the Istanbul Convention. However, I haven't seen any changes
Mm.
that are in alignment with the measures in the Istanbul Convention, such as protecting women who are especially vulnerable, like foreign women. Um, Things around making sure that there's interagency collaboration. That,
Yeah.
for example,
Mm.
if you did go to Migri and they were able to help you and say, okay, I think that they should give you a temporary visa immediately if you're
Yeah.
in that situation,
Mm.
by the way. But that Migri would be able to say, here are some services so that we know you're safe when you walk out of this
Yeah.
office,
Mm.
right? Um, Same thing with social services. Are social services communicating with the police that are communicating with the health services? Are
Yeah.
the health service providers
Yeah.
trained enough to know how to recognize someone who is suffering from partner
Yeah.
violence? Do they understand the
Mm.
psychology of that? That you'll say, I fell down the stairs.
Mm. So do you think that these organizations,
Mm.
do they also believe in what you believe as well, in terms of the way they take actions on women? Because, like I said, everybody has their own opinion of how they see things,
Yeah.
like the way you say that, oh, it's very dangerous. I mean, it's not
Mm.
that safe for women aligned, because I never experienced that, so I don't know. So in my own case, I said Finland is safe. You get what I'm saying? But in terms of the organizations, do you think they see it in your own way of,
You mean like Monica and I said?
like Monica and I said, all those other organizations that support or help women?
So first of all, I would say to your point that there are people that have experienced to say Finland.
Yeah.
I to that I would say Finland can be an incredibly safe place unless something happens.
Mm, mm. Well, maybe you can also say it that way, but that's why I feel like it comes so harsh in that way, that like when you say it's not safe, because like I said, in my own opinion, I feel it's safe enough, but of course I still have my own experiences
Yeah.
that I feel like, um let me say, no, maybe let me not weigh it that way, but I will still term it that way. So it's so interesting that, like, and I know that people also be wondering, the like, what you said about not being safe in Finland in terms of the violent thing. So that's why I brought it to you, that is this organization seeing it also in your own point of view?
I will say, as someone at least familiar with one of those organizations, do you mean if they would agree with me that it's
They
not safe?
agree, or even also they also will like to work hand in hand with you in terms of your own point of view.
I don't know. I haven't reached out to them as part of my campaign
Okay.
to be honest.
Yeah.
Um, and my impression though of those services is they are probably highly understaffed.
Mm.
So I guess if I had reached out to them, a question that I would have asked them is, do they think they have the capacity and the competence to be able to help the people that walk in their door. That they might have the motivation, they might absolutely see it the same way that I do,
Mm.
but then whether they have the ability,
Mm-hmm.
given their situation, do they have the ability to be in alignment with their values?
Values, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, because this topic is a very broad thing to talk about. Even if we have this all day, I don't think we can finish it
No.
because there's a lot to talk about it. And I can see where you're going with this. And I hope that, um, even if you don't, I mean, maybe in terms of working with them in future or something like that, maybe something can be corrected, in that line, you know.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. That there might be some knowledge supports that could be
Mm,
given. That have you thought about these
mm,
clients?
yeah.
Have you thought about where they're situated or positioned in their lives, where they're located, and various things.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, of course. You're welcome. So, in going in line with that, we got to say that do you think there are enough women in power around the world, in terms of, making decisions and, in the society? Do you think there are enough?
Of course, I'm going to say no, but I would add to that that it's not for me. It's not specifically or only about how many women are in power,
Yeah.
but also whether they have the support to be there and to continue to be there.
Mm,
That if there are all these systems and structures around you that are sort of against you
mm-hmm.
or making it difficult and making you doubt yourself,
Yeah. Yes.
then I think I would like to tackle that. I want more women in power, but I want more women supporting other women.
Yes.
I want to address more things at a structural level for
Mm.
women to feel that they can do this and that other women believe in
Mm.
them and that we acknowledge what makes it difficult to be a woman in power.
In power, yeah. Yeah. I must say also, let me go into this. Astro actually said thanks for repeating the name of your party. I think they didn't understand. And Vico says, so good, greatness. You will be higher or something like that. So thank you, Vicon, for this. We really need it. But if you like to ask questions, you can call in on 046 9597 514, or shall I say in Finnish, Nolla neljä kuusi yhdeksän viisi yhdeksän seitsemän viisi yksi neljä. And we still have Aliana Thomas. She has her own point of view and reason why she is a candidate for the for the parliamentary house. So that's why I need you. If you have questions, please bring it in. No, so let's move on. He said, what do you think about equality in the society? I know you have your own point of view. So, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
do you think equality is important? How
Yes,
important? Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely, but I think we need to define what we mean by equality.
yeah.
Um, I think oftentimes equality is used as a way to say we need to treat everyone the same,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but that doesn't acknowledge that we're not starting from the same point of view. That some of us do need more
Mm.
support.
Do you think that they treat immigrants in the same way?
No.
Like, I mean, because, we all have our,
When I was studying, there was a saying that would come up very often that I'll give the University of Helsinki a lot of credit for acknowledging this, which is that they said our society is equal for people like us.
mm, mm,
And I think that was extremely self-aware of them to say
mm,
that yes, it is an equal equality is important, but that often there is equality for people who are similar to the majority group, and that we need to change a bit what we think we mean by equality, which is that we all have equal value.
Well, yes, yes.
And that's not the same as deciding that everyone should be treated exactly the same regardless of their circumstances, right?
Yeah.
So I have found it very difficult in Finland to be treated as if I am of equal value. That my experience has been that oftentimes not being Finnish works against me.
Well, I mean, everybody feels like that,
Mm.
And I think what comes around with it is you have to learn the language to be able to integrate into society. And even despite the fact that a lot of people speak the language, they still have some things going on, in their respective, things that they do in life here in Finland. But do you think the language is enough, even if at all, that when we're talking about equality, do you think that language, because they always have that emphasis on that?
Yes, there's always this emphasis on language, but I'm also not sure exactly how much language is being used as one hoop for you to jump through, because you can speak Finnish, but it doesn't mean the same jobs are going to be available
Yeah,
to
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Speaking Finnish does
Mm,
not mean if I think about employment, for example,
yeah,
it's also not, how do I put it? In the end, it might still be, but your qualifications are not equal
enough.
yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So clearly, language is not the only. Um, Language is not the great equalizer
Mm,
here,
mm,
and so I think there does need to be this understanding that you have your competencies, your experiences are valuable even if you can't execute them or use them in Finnish.
yeah, yeah.
They're not of less worth because you didn't get them in Finland or because
Mm-hmm,
you can't talk about those things in Finnish.
mm,
And to be honest, I think this really needs to change,
mm, mm,
this overemphasis on language, especially since we know that Finland wants to and needs to
mm,
attract several hundreds of thousands of foreigners
mm,
here.
mm.
I find
Yeah,
it hard to believe that they're expecting that all these people will speak
yeah.
Finnish.
But I think for me, I'm still on that line of like, if we learn the language too can get you that far. But what it comes about, with me as an immigrant is like you have to work extra hard, you
Yeah.
know, to get to wherever you want to go through, you know.
So if I think about that in terms of this language thing, I've tried to say to people that there's so much emphasis on language
Yeah.
that
Which
if
is great if you understand the language.
it's great if you do,
Yes.
it's great if you are good at languages, it's great if you have the money, it's great if you have the time,
Mm-hmm.
but um, for me, what that's not the only thing that integration and inclusion is about. And I
Mm.
think there needs to be this understanding that, well, I have, or people have other priorities in their
Mm.
lives.
Mm.
They have other skills they want to learn, other
Mm.
languages they want to learn.
Mm.
And I think we know, I mean, back when I won that pitching competition,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the fact was that there are a number of people that will spend years trying to learn Finnish,
Mm.
starting at
Yeah.
A1 or A2 level. And
Yes. Yes.
in the meantime, while they're trying to learn Finnish in order to get that job
Mm.
or to get that study place, they are not using their skills that they
Mm.
have. They're not
Mm.
using their competencies. They're not having a chance to learn new skills and gain new competencies. And I think that that's a huge problem if, because there's such a strong emphasis on Finnish, that nothing else matters. You're not
Matters.
allowed
Yeah.
to prioritize anything else. You're not allowed to
Mm.
develop. And for me, that's an equality issue. If the Finnish people around you who do speak Finnish do have time
Yeah.
and space to gain other skills and use those skills.
Yeah. I mean, of course, the skills will be there, but, in terms of Finnish language, as I said, they're like, I feel Finnish will also get you in a greater, maybe push you forward in life, in if you're living in Finland. You get what I'm saying?
Well, I have my own views
So
on
yeah,
that.
everybody has their own view. Exactly. And the guests that I've had too, they have their own view in terms of Finnish language. And that's why I wanted to hear your own opinion. Someone's asking I should repeat the question, I mean the number again, and that is 04695. Oh, did I get it right? 9597514 046957514. You can call in and we are ready for your questions if you have. Yes, this is an interesting question. I mean, that we've been talking about in terms of this language thing, because that has been up for debate for a long time, for a
Yes.
long time. So it's so interesting to see your own point of view on that aspect. They're like, and I'm sure some people be like, yeah, yeah, they feel the same way as well.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And
I just want to say one thing,
yeah,
maybe to contextualize things a bit, that because I understand that there might be, my experience has also been some people think that, well, I'm American, so that's why I don't think, right? So it's come up.
okay,
It's
let me
come up.
think.
But I want to say
Yeah.
that for where I'm from,
Yes.
and I understand you can't compare Helsinki or Finland to the States or to New York, but when I was growing up, there was this acknowledgement that there are people that come to the country who have different skills, different hindrances, are different ages. And so there are different places in their life with respect to language.
Yeah.
And so we will all just manage. If you only speak Russian or you only speak Mandarin, we will work on this together. So if I think about the example that when I was studying to get my bachelor's degree,
Okay.
there were programs that were specifically for learning Spanish. That if you were going to be a doctor or you were going to be a lawyer, you were encouraged to go and learn terms in Spanish for law or terms in Spanish for medicine.
Yeah.
Because the idea was, yes, this is the US, but there are going to be more and more people in the country who are Spanish speaking. And you're going to need to serve them because whether they came 2 weeks ago or they've been here 10 years,
10 years,
they
yeah.
still need your service. And it'll be a huge help and an asset for you as an American to also be able to speak that language.
Yeah.
And so when I think about Finland and these issues around integration and equality and so on, I'd like to say that I think Finland also needs to integrate itself into its reality. And the reality is there's going to be more and more foreigners coming here with different languages. And,
Yeah.
And if it's integration, then it has to be a two-way street.
Yeah.
It's assimilation if the whole burden is on the foreigner to learn Finnish, to learn Swedish, and
forget about the skills.
Yeah. So that's my perspective.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give that context.
I know, because I think this one, I'm going to have a different segment about languages in Finland. I think this is very broad, because everybody have their own opinions about it and people have experiences, about it too as well. So, and yeah, do you think you can bring something different to the table if you get into the parliamentary house? Because I mean, we've heard you out, and you think that you can bring a change to the way um, things have been done in the society, um, with your agenda as well, and you will have a full support with it, because I bet you, like I said, there's some things I don't even know myself that I'm getting to know from you, which I did not see Finland, that aspect of being not been safe. And because I felt like I've been living here, if it's not safe for me enough, I would have thought about leaving, and which I did not do that. So just talking about it now, why are you still in this country? Why? Not just thinking about it, like why are you still in the country? Because that will also bring you to what can you bring differently if you get into the parliamentary house.
So I'll say first of all, I've left 3 times, but I keep coming. I've kept coming back because.
Uh, all right.
Again, I'm being honest.
Yes, yes, yes. Honesty, that's what we want. Yes.
For anyone that says, why haven't you left? I have, and I've come back. I've come back because this is my home. This is where I have grown as an adult, and I care about this country, and there are a number of things that are absolutely in alignment with my values.
So that means an aspect is safe, because if it's home for you,
it's safer than some other places.
Okay.
Right? It's not so black and white. Safety is on a spectrum.
All right.
Right? It has previously been easy for me to find work. So I've come back because it is my home. I've become an adult here. It's in alignment with the majority of my core values. And I have been able to find work.
Yeah.
But I think what I would bring with me to Parliament is, first of all, the same thing I have brought with me to all of my positions, all of my work positions and all my relationships, which is I have a very broad spectrum of knowledge.
Yeah.
If I may use a German word for a moment.
Okay, use it. I'm sure some people will understand what you're saying.
I will translate what it means. So there's a term in German, it might also be in Swedish, called Fachidiot, which means someone who is so specialized they know nothing about anything else. So the Fach is basically if all you know is software, and then you don't know anything about art, you don't know anything about environment, then you are a Fachidiot.
Okay.
And so for me, it has been a huge advantage to have, one, a broad range of interests and a broad range of knowledge. And I think that's important for addressing the problems we are facing, is someone that has knowledge from different areas and has experience of working across disciplines, who's not threatened by that, or who believes that their discipline is the best and will solve everything. So that's one thing. Then the other thing is the fact that I have lived in different
countries. Yeah.
I've lived in different countries. So I think I take a very critical eye as well to the systems that I live in.
Yeah.
To today.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm very skeptical of them. I come from a country that is convinced of its exceptionalism.
Yeah.
American exceptionalism.
Yeah.
And there is also Nordic exceptionalism, and I'm allergic to both exceptionalisms. And I think that's important. So I have these broad interests. I have this experience of what the issue is with exceptionalism and just accepting authority and accepting myths and narratives around the country. And also, I have had the privilege to be very vulnerable in Finland. So I have the experience of what it's like to be alone and outside of certain systems. So I'm very much aware, but not everyone is okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm about to cry.
Oh, please. Yeah. Just take a minute or seconds, should we say?
I don't mind
Yes.
crying. And
Yes.
here's the other thing that I think I bring with bringing up that I'm going to cry.
Yes.
Is that I think perhaps I belong to also a generation that is really done with a certain kind of politics.
Mm.
Is done with the highly polished, curated, stiff upper lip kind of politician,
Mm.
and is able to acknowledge that we need a more gentle kind of politics that acknowledges that there are different people with different
Yeah.
needs,
Needs.
and we
Yeah.
are only, yeah, that we have to support our most vulnerable.
Mm.
And I think, yeah, I think I bring that
Mm. Yeah.
this vulnerability.
Okay.
and that knowledge.
Mm.
Yeah,
Do you follow politics around the world?
I do.
Okay, I can see it because that's why I'm just trying to, like, I can see the way you are so knowledgeable about, politics. So that brings me to American politics and Finland politics.
Yeah.
What is the comparison? How can you like? Is Finland a more chill back?
Yes, in ways that I find frustrating sometimes, but yeah, I think one good thing about Finnish politics is the threshold to participation is so much lower
Yeah.
here.
Mm.
So when I tell people in the states that I'm running for parliament,
Yeah.
that's incredible
Yeah.
to them because
Yeah.
they picture someone who is a career politician,
Mm.
who is rolling in money.
Mm. Oh, of course, because yeah,
Whereas that's not necessary.
it's different. Yeah, it's quite different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that way, um, it's great that there's more of a democracy here. That threshold to being able to make some kind of change, whether that's in parliament or municipal elections, um, yeah, that is just a whole different ball game, if I may use an Americanism.
Oh yeah. Oh please. Yeah.
Yes.
I can also. Can I tell me if we're saying Alena Thomas, American Finnish?
American Finn.
Yeah. Okay. American Finn
Yeah, I think I'm comfortable with
with that.
I think
Yeah.
so. I think I wear different identities and different hyphenations at different points.
Yeah.
For now, sure, American Finn.
Not for now, because this is home for you. I mean, if you're going into parliamentary, election, that means you're ready to serve the people
Yes.
and you're ready to do the work. You're ready to be there, to be the voice to so many. You get what I'm saying? And this is home for you.
Yeah, this is my yeah.
So
This is
that brings me back to the safety.
I would say that because this is my home, this is why I want it to be a safer place.
So you think you can bring in something different
Yes,
in the house?
Yes, I think that the potential to make change
Yeah.
is absolutely there
Mm.
because I want to improve my home.
Yeah.
I want to be able to use my skills and competencies to make this a better home, not just for me, but for everybody. Because I know I've been speaking a lot about foreigners or internationals, but I think that these are issues that affect everybody.
Mm.
It's not just about me as an American or me as someone who's not an ethnic Finn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want this to be a safe place for everyone, not just foreigners.
Okay. So that brings me to the communities, yeah?
Yeah.
As an American, do we have American community here?
There are. I am not part of that community.
But you know them. Have you tried to be in their midst and
I have tried, but it's such a big country that we have a lot of differences, and so I think for a lot of us, we've tried to. The Americans I have met have made a point not to decide, well, you're American, I'm American. Yeah, that we've tried to find other communities.
But there's American community here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. But you running, do you have support of them?
I have the support of the Americans that I know.
So the number is not correct. Someone's trying to call in. Yeah. Sorry. Yes.
Yes, the Americans I know
You can put it here.
definitely definitely support me in spirit.
Mm, mm.
They have not necessarily had the space to support me in more practical terms, but
Yeah.
I know that they're behind me and they think it's just super cool. You know,
Okay.
again, I'm American, a bit excessive, just like it's awesome.
That's awesome. Oh, yes. I mean, okay. So I'm going to repeat the number again. It's 04695975514. Again, 04695975514. And that is Nola Nelly Akusi, Udexan Visi, Udexan Setsiman Visi, Uxi Nelia. So I hope it's correct this time. Yes. And yeah.
It's been hard
So
to find community though.
so do you know, so you feel like no communities are supporting you, or I feel some, I mean, some communities should give you some full support.
I think through this process, I've had to. It's caused me to sort of reevaluate what do I mean when
Hmm.
I say community. How do I
Yeah.
know? How do I identify
Yes.
um, community?
Yes.
Um, I would say that the people that are part of the African diaspora
Yeah.
are those that have really shown up for me.
That's who we are.
I'm I'm serious. I mean,
No, I mean, we, we are who we are. I think maybe because in Africa we accept people the way they are. We open our hands and open our doors, and we want to support one way or the other, and which we have in our own communities. Some of them don't are not in full support of each other. You get what I'm saying?
yeah,
But it's good to hear from you that Africans are
yes.
supporting you.
It's
Yeah.
been the easiest place to find support.
Oh, that's
Um,
sweet.
I would say one support in terms of understanding,
Mm,
the understanding what I'm going through
mm, mm.
as a candidate, understanding what makes it difficult, understanding what my needs might
Maybe.
be,
Yeah.
um, the availability
Mm,
that I know that I could pick up the phone and call. You know, you've put me in touch with some people
mm,
that
mm.
have, you know, it's been really easy just to pick up the phone and call that person or
Yeah.
several other people
Yeah.
and just talk.
Mm,
Um, there's been a very easy sharing of information,
mm, mm.
and I have to tell you, it's been so important to be able to sit across from someone where you just call them and say, "Can we meet?" and they say yes,
Yeah.
and then we can sit down and they just get it.
That's good.
And there's none of this like needing to fight to have my
Mm.
perspective.
It's refreshing to hear because um when I put the flyer out, I don't know if you remember Paulina, you know, at my
Mhm.
party. She was so proud of you,
Mm.
said, "Oh, Juliana," and it's so really nice to see that, like, some people that really know, like, oh my gosh, oh, she's coming out of this, she's doing
Mhm.
this, she's, going out there. I mean, which I said to you that I'm really proud of you doing this, because that shows a lot that you have a lot to say and to contribute and to make a difference, yeah, and that brings me to, we talk about support, of course, and how do you get your funding? How is your campaign like?
So I don't have a whole lot of money, right? We're not playing around with American levels
Yes,
of money.
yes, yes, of course, yes.
So some of my funding has come directly through the Swedish-speaking People's Party,
Mm.
RKP.
Yeah, yeah.
Then some of my funding has come through the Swedish-speaking Women's Association.
Mm, mm.
And then there has been some money through the Foundation for a Bilingual Finland.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
So these are the three places where I
Mm.
have received funding.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. I mean, say your number again and your party. So for
Yeah.
those, yeah,
So my
kind of
number
see.
is 107, and I'm a candidate with the Swedish speaking People's Party,
Mm,
or are known as RKP or SFP.
okay, great. So you know what would they say about politicians? Even that we usually use it as part of the language thing that like maybe if you're talking and they're like, oh, you talk like a politician, you just like a politician. Um, what can set you aside from what people think politicians are?
I'm just allergic to that whole thing, and I'm not. I mean, you know me as a person. I
Yes.
don't have the patience. I don't have the patience to do that.
Yeah.
So I think what sets me apart is I'm not going to tell people what they want to hear so
Mm.
that they can vote
Mm.
for me.
Yeah.
I understand that everyone is voting in their own interest,
Yeah.
and if you feel that mm, the things that I stand for are not in your interest,
Mm.
then I'm not your candidate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's really that simple.
Mm. Mm.
I think the other thing that sets me apart is it's very easy for me to say I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know anything about this, but I'm willing to listen.
To listen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So there have been a few people that have contacted me about issues, and I thought I don't know anything about this, but let's go have a coffee, and
Mm.
could you tell me more? Whether
Mm.
that's around disability
Yeah.
or issues around child custody,
Mm.
I will say, okay, I don't know,
Mm.
but
Mm.
I want to learn
Yeah. Mm.
because I want to make sure that I know to
Mm.
include you in my
Mm.
framework, that I need
Mm.
to know that there are these issues
Mm.
out there.
You just go with what you know, not just know what you don't know. Because some people they might say, oh, they know this and they want to do this. Then at the end of the day, you find out that they're not even doing it. They don't even know it. You get what I'm saying? And and why I also said that was at your side is because I've seen some politicians which I have done something with in the past, and they say this, and even with me as a person, what they would like to do, then at the end of the day, they ended up not doing it. Or they do like, oh, now I've been to where I am now and I don't know you.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So that's why I had to bring that with you that like
Well, that goes to a point that I made earlier, which is that the issues I care about are issues whether there's an election or not.
yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So that's the point, that I want to learn about this because it will matter even after the election. And I
Mm,
want to connect with you if it means that I can continue to build my competency
yeah.
in that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's not just about getting to parliament, it's about change.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And change needs to happen regardless of whether there's an election. There are all other forms of change, whether that's a demonstration or starting an organization or making a project
Mm-hmm.
or something.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I think I've made myself very clear with the people that have spoken to me
To
about
you.
the issues
Yeah.
that affect their communities.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, when we talk about mental health, have you actually walked, because this is a big issue
Yes.
actually in this country and a big issue in my own community as well,
Yeah.
which people are really not speaking out pertaining to that. Um, like in my country, they don't really want to talk about it, but I think nowadays they're not talking about it.
Yeah.
So how can you bring it in light to make people understand that this is something you have to take care of, that people don't have to be ashamed of it, if they're going through some certain things, with their mental situation. How can you bring it to people to understand that it's okay, but you still have to, you know, reach out for a professional help?
Yeah. Well, I would say that first of all, those people that have shown up for me are those that also acknowledge that this is an issue and have been able to speak quite openly with me about mental health
Mm.
issues. I think I think that these communities are understanding more and more that this is an issue. If we think about intergenerational
Mm.
trauma as
Mm-hmm.
well,
Yeah.
I I I think I would like to communicate to those people that it is safe
Mm. Yeah.
to reach out um, to friends and to
Mm.
family, and
Mm.
that it can be something very very low threshold on the way to getting mental health
Yeah.
support. But it starts with being able to say to someone, I'm not okay,
Mm.
to acknowledge that you're not okay and you're not managing, and that we don't need to be strong
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
the time. Because
Mm.
I also think that the community that you and I belong to
Mm.
believes that it needs to be strong, and that somehow
Yeah.
mental health issues are for white
Yeah.
people or for
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Finnish
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
But I think it has helped when I've spoken to people about intergenerational
Mm.
trauma,
Mm.
and
Mm.
do they want their kids to grow
Mm.
up with those same
Mm.
things of feeling like you need to be strong all the time, that
Yeah.
it's not okay to fall apart.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
Um, I think if I may make one plug for one idea that I've had to
Mm.
address what I think is also a system level issue with people
Mm.
seeking help from these communities,
Mm.
is that one idea that I had is some there are other Nordic countries that have more experience
Mm.
with um, people from the African
Deborah. Yeah.
diaspora,
Diaspora. Yeah.
um, and that have more competency in what those trauma issues can look
Be.
like,
Mm.
but yeah, how they can manifest themselves.
Mm.
And so I think my idea was that if Finland doesn't now have the capacity
Mm.
for that, if it's possible to do some kind of cross-border
Mm.
collaboration, particularly since digital health
Yeah.
is now
More. Yeah.
is more widely
In
accepted.
use now. Yeah.
That if there are ways to share human resources, for example, with Sweden and Denmark, where you can where
Mm.
you can find a therapist in those countries
Mm.
that are certified by the equivalent of Valvira
Mm.
here,
Yeah.
and get Kela
Mm.
support
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
But, it's a really difficult, if I'm honest, it's a really difficult question that you've
It's
asked. And
it's
so
it's very broad. Yeah, it's a big question, even with this violence too, It's a big one that some people too, they are so ashamed to come out to say this is what they are going through, you know. And how can they seek for a safer place to be, or how can they get out of the situation, you know? And
it goes back to community. I
yeah.
think it goes back to our communities also being safe places where you think, I can reach out to a friend and trust that this person doesn't tell everyone
Mm.
that I'm going through this. And to
Yeah.
have those communities also be perhaps near
Mm.
you as well.
Yeah.
Because I think it's quite a big leap to go from not being able to admit that you're not okay to
Mm.
immediately
Mm.
to immediately going for therapy. But it starts with going going to someone and being able to share your own experience. Like,
Yeah.
I'm quite open about my own experience with therapy.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, of course. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I'm really happy for anyone who is considering going to therapy or knows someone who they think should be in therapy.
Yeah.
If you need to have someone who's similar to
Yeah.
you to talk
To
to
talk
say,
about. Yeah.
what was that like, and sort of do
Mm.
some myth busting
Mm-hmm.
around what that experience was like, and what did you get out of it, and also like, how's it different than just talking to your friend? So your therapist is not your friend.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It is
You're
a
right.
different experience.
Mm. I think this is a very broad thing that we need to talk about. Maybe we'll bring you back someday, that we can really just tackle that aspect, And yeah, I mean, it's really nice to have you here, to share your opinion and give us your agenda, and to let people know who you are and what your party is all about and what your party believes in. And yeah, thank you for coming. But before you go, just a quick one. You just choose one. It's just what I do, Hendon, when I have my guest here. So you're going to choose one, black or white,
Black
rice or potatoes.
rice.
And this tough one has always been in people's mouth. I'm going to say it. Nigerian jollof or Ghana jollof?
No, it's
Yes. Oh, yes. Lamb or chicken?
lamb.
All right. So that's it for us on Jason Radio on What's Poppin with Aliana Thomas. Thank you so much for coming. What a wonderful evening, she will say. Yes, or afternoon. Yes, it's still after. Oh,
Yes.
sorry. The sun is still out. Sorry. Thank you for coming. All right. Yes, yes. And in that note, oh, thank you for joining our viewers. Lovely to have you here. And thank you. And we will see you in the next episode of What's Popping with Ebon Givenin on JC Radio. To now, I'll see you later. Bye.
Somebody's gonna love me one day, one day. I don't dare wait, don't stay too far away. One day, somebody's gonna love me one day.
I don't know. Maybe you wanted me to say something that I didn't say, or I said something I shouldn't.
Worried, I'm not worried. No, I know the chorus. Who wants to talk about whatever and live your life forever? This place, heart has been through much. Oh, come me late, oh, let go. Shabby, surely, Neroni. Tired of getting it wrong, and this won't be another heartbreak song. Somebody's gonna go find me one day. But don't dare wait, don't stay too far away. One day, somebody's gonna love me one day. One day, I don't dare wait, don't stay too far away. Somebody's gonna love me one day. Oh, yeah. Somebody's gonna love me one day. Weight of the world if it's for me to carry. Shabby, surely, Ronnie. Tired of getting it wrong. This won't be another heartbreak song. Somebody's gonna find me one day. One day. Don't dare wait, don't stay too far away. Somebody's gonna love me one day. One day. Don't dare wait, don't stay too far away. One day. Somebody's gonna love me one day. Somebody's gonna love me one day. The last time that I checked. Now before I digress, my girl, you told me that I'm not your love interest. See, my girl, the last time that I checked. See, nothing ain't changed yet, except that I got a big bag and a big flag. Don't be nobody tell me nonsense, my nigga. Streets is so cold, my nigga. When nobody come try cry me a river. I'ma pull through like the strings on my guitar. Nonsense, my nigga. This was so cold, my nigga. When nobody come try cry me a river. I'ma pull through the strings of my guitar. So cold outside, my brother. I don't want pull no trigger. I just want it, cause I'm going play. I don't want no wahala. It's so cold outside, my brother. Me, I know the hate on my brother. Me, I just want it, cause I'm going places. I don't want no wahala. Oh, it's so cold outside. Me, I know they let nothing to worry me. I know they let nothing to bother me. They no owe no one apology. They no say she don't know they bother nobody. Me, I know they let nothing to bother me. I know they let nothing to bother me. They no owe no one apology. You get me? Ain't nobody tell me nonsense, my nigga. She's so cold, my nigga. Ain't nobody come try cry me a river. I'ma pull through like the strings of my guitar. Nonsense, my nigga.